Hello everyone, this is Monica, your English mentor. We are just going to start our new poem, that is A Thing of Beauty, Joy Forever by John Keats. In this video, we are just going to do the explanation of this very poem line to line, as well as we will find out the new words and we will write them down in our favorite notebook. And last upon but not the least is that we are going to do the main important question of this very poem. So let's get started with our introduction of John Keats. John Keats was born in London, and in year 1795 he died in Rome in 1821 at the age of 25 due to illness. So he was just only 25 years of age when he got died. He was a romantic poet, and his poetry is characterized by sensual imagery. In his most popular work, which is a series of odes, a lyrical poem which is meant for a particular subject. So here ode refers to a lyrical poem which means to a particular subject. Let us talk about the poet. Here today his poems are one of the most sought after creations in English literature. This poetry is excerpt. It means it is a part taken from the poem or the epic poem, that is Endymion, a poetic romance which was written by John Keats himself in 1818. So before getting started, we have to know the background of the poem. Here totally this very poem of the Endymion, and this is the excerpt. It is based on Greek mythology about a shepherd named Endymion, his quest for his love Diana, and how in the quest he falls in love with an earthly maiden who later turns out to be Diana herself. Right? So let's take an example here. Explanation. Here, when our Endymion just saw her beloved Diana, at that particular time he just saw that she is so beautiful, and everything seems to be so beautiful because he found his beloved Diana. And then he says that a thing of beauty is a joy forever. Its loveliness increases; it will never pass into nothingness. It means whenever there is a thing which related to the beauty is always a source for joy, and its loveliness. It means its enhancement has been increasing day by day, and it will never, you can say, pass into nothingness. It will never lose its enhancement with the passage of time. So next he says, therefore on every morrow are we wreathing a flowery band to bind us to the earth. Therefore, it means he says that on every tomorrow's morning we find ourselves so much connected with the earth that we are, similarly here metaphor has been used and says that are we wreathing a flowery band to bind us on the earth. He says that every moment of our desire to live further is because we encircle ourselves with our loves towards these beautiful things. As we get wrapped up in the beautiful flowery bands, and we get a reason to live further. So he says, spite of despondence of the inhuman dearth of noble nature of the gloomy days of all the unhealthy over darkened ways made for our searching. It means when we are getting sad and all these things, that means we are not enjoying the pleasure of natural resources, right? And why it all has happened? It's all because there is a lack of you can say nobility, and also there is a prevailing of cruelty all around, and there is a lack of good natured people, and so all these things are also considered to be the beauty of the earth. So without all this beauty, the earth is full of gloom and sadness. Yes, in spite of all, some shape of beauty moves away the pall from the dark spirit. So here pall means the dark clouds from our dark spirits. It is the beauty, the creation of God, which removes the darkness as well as the sadness from our mind and soul. Remember all these things, that everything and every shape of natural beauty always you can say result in our happiness, and it always removes the sadness and darkness from our mind and soul. Here now he is just giving the list of some of the natural resources which gives us the happiness, that is the sun, the moon, trees old and the young sprouting, a shady boon for simple ship. From the sun to the simple ship, each and everything gives us the you can say reason for living here further on the earth. The poet names some of the things whose beauty is eternal, like the sun, moon, greenery, like trees whose shade is boon for creatures like the ship to rest under it. Next, he gives the reference of the daffodils with the green world they are living, and the clear rills here, small, you can say teeny streams, so you can say that for themselves a cooling convert them against the hot season. It means various flowers like daffodils, the earth so green, lives, rivers full of clear waters. These all things always used to cool everyone in the summer, right? After that, he give the reference of the another thing which give us the which considered to be a thing of beauty and will joy forever is the musk rose bloom. The mid forest brake rich with a sprinkle of fair musk rose bloom. It means the thick green bushes of forest one where beautiful fragrant musk rose bloom is also a source of beauty which gives us the happiness forever. After that, and such too in the grandeur, the doom we have imagined for the mighty dead, all lovely tales that we have heard or read. It means not even the death is bad, and even death of our matter is considered to be beautiful, because the stories of brave men who sacrifice their lives are also beautiful, and these are also the natural things, the poet says. And here the last stanza says, an endless foundation of immortal drink pouring unto us from the heavens bring. It means all these beautiful things are like nectar for us, and God gives to us, which help us to live further on this earth. So in total, if I say, then John Keats is referring to the you can say eternal quality of the world, and as well as he leads to the quality of non-materialistic human being who always find himself related to the earth, and he is so earth concerned that he can relate these element as the metaphorical relation to the to his beloved Diana. So here we have some of the few new words. So you can take also the screenshot, as here the first is bower. Bower means a pleasant shady place under trees or climbing plants. Morrow, the following day. Wreathing means covering to the encircle. Spite means desire to offend or annoy someone. Despondence means disheartened and hopeless. Noble of means the spirit quality of the human being, having high moral principles. Here pal means a cloud, a dark cloud of gloom and sadness. Spirit, the soul where lie our emotions and characters. Here the sprouting, to develop suddenly in large numbers. Here the shady boon refers to a shade which is helpful to someone. Here rills means the streams or the small rivers of running water. Covert means not openly known or displayed. Grandeur means as to impress. Dooms means last day of existence. Immortal means living forever. Heaven's bring means the door of God's home. Now, I am just giving you the list of that things of beauty mentioned in the poem. That is the sun, the moon, the shady trees, beautiful daffodil flowers, streams of water, dense green bushes of forest ferns where fragrant musk roses grow, and tale of heroic men who just sacrifice their lives. Here John Keats find out that there are some of the things which also causing suffering and pain. These are the desire to offend others, helplessness, lack of noblemen, bad health, unhappiness, gloom and darkness. Here some of the important questions in which we are considered. The first as, what does the line, therefore are we wreathing a flowery band to bind us on earth, so just to you? It means that we get attached to the beautiful thing around us and view a pretty band which binds us with our life. It becomes the reason for us to live. After that, we come to know that what makes human beings love life in spite of troubles and sufferings. In short, I can say that John Keats will give answer as the eternal beauty of various things gives us happiness and relaxation. Why is grandeur associates with the mighty dead? because the noble deeds of brave men who sacrifice their lives are an inspiration for us forever. The beautiful legacy of their bravery in the grandeur which is associated with the mighty dead. Here, the last and the important but not the least, you can say question is that according to the poet, a thing of beauty is joy forever. Even we see it if a few moments, it has a lasting impression on us, and its beautiful memory stays with us forever and in inspire despite the ruthlessness of life. So this is all about the poem. This is a very romantic poem, and in which Diana and Endymion find themselves. Even Endymion falls in love with earthly maiden, but later on he finds that she is Diana herself, and after that, on seeing Diana on earth, he just say that a thing of beauty is a joy forever. I hope this has been clear to you. We'll meet in the next video. Till complete your notebook as well, written down all the question answers, extra question answers, word meaning, and remember the poem with the explanation. बात है।